Tonight, these three teams compete on Academic Challenge.
From Madison, team number 1. From Lyndhurst, team number 2. And from North Ridgeville, team number 3.
Academic Challenge. Brought to you by Ohio Edison and by the Illuminating Company. And now, let's meet our chief challenger, Don Webster.
Thank you very much, Paul King, and hi again, everybody. It's time to play our Brain Game Academic Challenge. So let's get all three teams in action now with our lightning 60-second round, and questions are all in the same category. And today the category is those old dry bones. This is what we're going to do. We will, on our monitor, put the name of a bone. I want the teams to tell me where we find that bone in our bodies, all right? For every correct answer, you will earn 10 points for your team. There are no penalties for incorrect replies. Here we go, and here's number 1. All right, Lake Ridge.
Arm.
All right, I will take that, the upper arm. Okay, the metatarsal, Madison.
Hand.
No, that's the foot. Okay, how about number 3, Lake Ridge?
Shoulder.
Shoulder is right. And the patella,
Knee.
Lake Ridge.
Kneecap.
Now, wait a minute. Let me say Lake Ridge first, now you tell me.
Knee.
Okay. And the stirrup, brush?
Ear.
Ear is right. The clavicle, Lake Ridge?
Shoulder.
I'll take that. Next, brush?
Fingers.
Right. The femur, Lake Ridge?
Leg.
Leg, right. Occipital, Lake Ridge?
Head.
Yes. The ulna, brush?
The arm.
Right. And the carpus, Lake Ridge?
Foot.
No, that's the wrist. All right. And finally, all right, Lake Ridge?
Foot. Ankle.
All right, I'll take it. It's ankle. Okay, that's the end of the round. Now, let's move to next challengers as we check their team scores. And first of all, from Madison, opening with no points as yet, we present
Tom Sullivan, senior, member of varsity basketball.
Tim Sabo, senior, varsity baseball.
Larry Hennessy, junior, French Cup vice president.
and also one alternate, Drew Kate. Now from Brush, beginning with 30 points, we introduce
Steve Shaffron, senior, member of the band.
Stephen Rickman, senior, member of the drama club.
Gene McWhorter, senior, member of the drama club.
And also alternates, Ted Grove, Rob Chudikoff, and Steve Marks. Now from Lake Ridge Academy, starting with 70 points, we want you to meet
Andy Gilman, senior, national merit semifinalist.
Alan Downey, senior, national merit semifinalist.
Phyllis Nacy, junior, captain varsity field hockey.
And alternates, Kathy Hessler and Laura Pettit.
Students competing on tonight's program receive the second college edition of Webster's New World Dictionary, the reference for meaning and spelling on Academic Challenge, and also used by the New York Times, Associated Press, and UPI as their dictionary of first reference. Runner-up teams are given this History of the Congress of the United States from American Heritage Publishing Company. And the winning team gets the Random House Encyclopedia, supplied by the Bookseller Paperback Exchange, Ohio's largest bookstore, located at the intersection of Routes 2 and 57 in Elyria.
Our first team round is right ahead after this for the Illuminating Company and Ohio Edison.
And now, for you, it's the Chartreuse Caboose. Tones tones and overtones, voice upon voice, dependably reported by an incredibly small amount of electricity. The sounds you want, brought to you in part by your electric company, where we're very serious about doing all we can to keep electricity one of your best values. That's why we're working hard to keep costs down in spite of runaway inflation. At your electric company, we're doing our best to keep on giving you the service you expect at a fair price and still bring you the music that moves you whenever the spirit moves you.
All right. Yeah. Hey, now all we need's an agent. Yeah. Hey, Mom.
Wait a minute, fellas.
Electricity. Compare its value to other things you buy.
In this round, teams have 75 seconds to answer 10 questions worth 10 points apiece. Answering all 10 correctly adds 50 bonus points.
Thank you, Paul. Let's get underway now and go back to Steve Rickman for our first pick. Steve?
Number 7, please.
All right, 7 it is now, and our questions are coming over to Madison, and we're all set to go with a round. Fuel shortages are making Londoners chilly today, but they must be glad they're not experiencing the heat of what 1960 or 1666 event?
Fire.
Right, the Great Fire. The McNairy, Bonneville, and Grand Coulee dams are found on what northwestern U.S. river, whose name opens the anthem, what was it?
Colorado?
No, the Columbia. When Longfellow's poetic pines and hemlocks stood like druids of old, they resembled priests at what prehistoric stone monument on England's Salisbury Plain?
Stonehenge?
Now check your monitor. If the right triangle on the monitor has sides of 6 and 8, how long is the hypotenuse?
134.
10 was the answer. What famous street in New Orleans shares its name with the French dynasty to which Louis XIV? What was it? Just repeat exactly what you said, please.
Bourbon.
That's right. Grown frog breathes by means of the lungs and gills, cilia, or skin.
Skin.
That's right. Instead of bright plaids, Mary, Queen of Scots often wore clothes of what color that won her the nickname La Reine Blanche?
Scott. White.
White is right. A farmer has 40 feet of chicken wire fence with which to enclose a yard. What is the maximum rectangular area he can completely enclose?
40 square feet.
No, 100 square feet. The Wild Duck is a play by... All right, there we have the round. 50 points for Madison after round number 1. And we come now over to team number 3. All right, Alan, to pick?
Number 3.
And 3 it will be, okay. After World War II, Congress established the Atomic Energy Commission, but the first atomic bombs were developed primarily by what military branch whose officers trained at West Point?
Army.
According to the Bible, when Joseph was in Egypt, he held what office that today is held by men like J. Rockefeller of West Virginia?
Financier.
No, governor. Englishmen call their flag the Union Jack, but give the name Jack Tar to a man in what profession with salty characters like Horatio Hornblower?
Sea captain.
Well, that's good enough, a sailor. All right, on your monitor, what is the sum of the 3 numbers shown in the expression on the monitor, taking all roots to be positive?
16.
No, 25. Though the Rhine River flows to the North Sea and the Po to the Adriatic, each has its source in the high mountains of what alpine country?
Switzerland.
That's it. A graduate seeing the initials MCL in his diploma knows that he's mastered college life since the letters stand for what 3 Latin words, meaning that the degree is awarded with high honors?
Magna cum laude.
Decay-causing bacteria can convert nitrates in dead organisms to what substance, widely used around the house as a disinfectant? Chlorine, borax, or ammonia?
Ammonia.
That's right. What must the angle of incidence be in order that the angle between the reflected and incident rays on a plane mirror be 90 degrees?
45.
Right. While waiting for her white knight to... All right, there's the end of the round, and 90 points for Brush from Lyndhurst after round number 1. Come back now to Madison and Tim.
Number 4, please.
4 has been the selection for Lake Ridge Academy. Pioneers headed for Oregon on one of America's early trails, but for what present-day state were they headed when they were on the Santa Fe Trail?
California.
No, New Mexico. What record would you buy, not at a record shop, but from the government to find out what's been going on in the House of Representatives and the Senate?
Pass.
All right, that was a congressional record. Bret Hart must have known his clubs in spades since the outcasts of his famous short story were expelled from what fictional mining town whose name identifies a card game?
Poker flat.
That's it. On the monitor, in the expression you see, express X as a positive angle less than 180 degrees.
Negative or 10.
That's right, 10. If Snoopy were interested in old boats instead of old airplanes, he might be attracted to what Charles Darwin vessel with a canine-like name?
Beagle.
Right. The reaction between sodium chloride and silver nitrate goes to completion because a gas is formed, a precipitate is formed, or sodium nitrate
precipitate is formed.
That's right. When Virginia joined the Confederacy, some of its counties seceded and formed what new state?
West Virginia.
Right. A lot is twice as long as it is wide. If the perimeter is 60 feet, what is its area?
180.
No,
1800.
No, you said 180, 200. Shakespeare's Hamlet ends in a tragic duel, but in what other Shakespearean work? All right, there we have it. 120 points for Lake Ridge Academy. We'll meet tonight's judges and move on to the visual free-for-all right after we hear from our sponsors, Ohio Edison and the Illuminating Company.
When I'm on stage as Mr. Electric, I light bulbs by magic. But here at home, my wife Carol uses electricity to wash dishes, dry clothes, cook meals, and make housework disappear faster, like magic. Naturally, we both know that there's more to the magic of electricity than meets the eye. Electricity takes millions of tons of coal at generating plants, thousands of miles of transmission line, hundreds of service vehicles and maintenance crews, and much, much more. As Mr. Electric, I make lighting a bulb look easy. But as Marvin Roy, I appreciate that the magic of electricity is a major production.
Academic Challenge congratulates the school teachers and administrators who encourage the pursuit of scholarly excellence, and here with us are the faculty members who coach tonight's teams. First of all, from Madison, school counselor and advisor in his 16th season, George Stahl. From Brush, teacher and coordinator of social studies in his 5th season as advisor, Hugo Zappa. And from Lake Ridge Academy in his 3rd season as advisor, professor of history, Dr. Robert Cohen.
In the next 90 seconds, all 3 teams will compete simultaneously in a visual free-for-all. The first team ringing the bell when a question is asked will be recognized. The right answer gets you 10 points, but we'll take away 10 for incorrect answers or failure to reply. There are no past questions.
Alrighty, we have the questions. Check the monitor, and here we go. What you see right now is a replica of what historical ship whose original passenger list included such men as Miles Standish and Madison.
Mayflower.
Right. The painting on your monitor now shows the defeat of the Amorites by what biblical hero who had earlier made Jericho's walls come tumbling down? Madison.
Joshua.
This may look like a fancy cannonball, but it's actually an astrological globe used by the ancient Romans to cast what sort of personal chart that predicts the future by means of the zodiac? Brush.
Horoscope.
Right. If this uniform suggests a toy soldier, it's appropriate, since this is a Royal Guard from what Scandinavian country? Lake Ridge.
Denmark.
That's it. On your monitor now appear the French and Spanish translations of the title of what O. Henry story? Lake Ridge.
Magies.
The what?
The gift of the Magi gift.
That's right. This scene of skating in Central Park is characteristic of the work of what team of American? All right, Madison.
Currier and Ives.
This magnificent golden altar adorns the cathedral in what Spanish city known for its steel blades and also is the home of El Greco? No? Toledo. This painting by Watteau portrays Perrault, who in French theater tradition is what sort of happy, sad entertainer portrayed in this country? Lake Ridge.
Clown.
Right. Whatever Fort Lamp means, by rearranging the letters in the phrase, you can name what statement of party principles that is usually adopted at a political convention? Brush.
Platform.
Right. This is the constellation Perseus, honoring the mythological hero who slew both a nasty dragon and what even nastier?
Medusa.
That's right. Here you see the general formula for an organic acid.
Carboxyl acid.
Or an organic acid is what we were looking for. All right, there's the end of the round, the visual round. Coming up is a look at tonight's schools following this report from the Illuminating Company and Ohio Edison.
Are you ready, student?
Yes, sir.
What is the secret of tranquility?
A pear tree bending in the wind.
How does a man understand the inner struggle?
By the dew of the grass on a three-sided hill.
How many kilowatt hours does your electric toothbrush use?
Pardon, sir?
Student, you are not yet ready. There are many decisions to be made in this world, and this electric decision maker book will help you make some of them. It gives you useful information on saving energy and tells you how much our electric appliances cost to run, so that you may decide whether you want to use them or not. Study it. Then we will meet again.
Thank you, teacher.
In a very confusing world, we all need a little help. And this helpful little booklet gives you some. For your free copy, call or write your electric company.
Madison High School, founded over a century ago, is located 40 miles east of Cleveland. In 1921, it moved from a little red schoolhouse to a new building on Route 84, the site of the present middle school. Continued growth resulted in the 1970 construction of today's Madison High School on Burns Road. Current enrollment is over 1,200 students. Brush High School, established in 1927, serves 1,600 students from South Euclid and Lyndhurst in grades 10 through 12. The faculty of over 100 persons teaches college prep, business, industrial arts, and vocational courses. Brush also supports 18 boys and girls athletic teams in the Greater Cleveland Conference. And Lake Ridge Academy, an independent school in North Ridgeville, draws its enrollment largely from Lorain County and Cleveland's western suburbs. Now in its 17th year, Lake Ridge has 12 grades with nearly 400 students in grades 9 through 12. It is chartered by the state of Ohio as a college preparatory school and offers a full range of academic and sports programs.
While we're recapping team scores on your screen, here are the rules for this individual team round. You'll get double the points, 20 big ones for every correct answer. But remember, penalties are also doubled for missed or passed questions. With 90 seconds to answer 10 questions correctly, teams have a chance to pick up 50 bonus points.
Thank you, Paul. Let's get underway once again and go back to Steve for another selection.
Number 1, please.
All right, at Madison, here we go now. Although Jim Bowie was skilled with the knife that bears his name, it could not save him from the slaughter at what Texas mission besieged by, a supporter of neutrality in World War I, William Jennings Bryan, resigned from Wilson's cabinet after a dispute over the sinking of what liner by German subs?
Lusitania.
Once a suitor to Anne Boleyn, Sir Thomas Wyatt kept his own head long enough to become the English originator of what 14-line verse form?
Sonnet.
Right. Okay, listen to the music. This is Broken-Hearted Me, a plea for sympathy from, that's right. Today, sailors attend Annapolis for training, but in the 15th century, they attended a school set up by what Portuguese navigator prince?
Henry the Navigator.
That's it. Mercury is the only metallic element which is a liquid at ordinary temperature. Which of the halogens is a liquid at ordinary temperature? Bromine, chlorine, or fluorine?
Fluorine.
No, bromine. On Father's Day, poets might salute what father of English poetry who wrote the Canterbury Tales?
Chaucer.
That's right. One base angle of an isosceles triangle equals 80 degrees. What is the size of the vertex angle?
20.
Right. One of Stalin's first projects upon coming to power was the brutal elimination of the kulaks. Were kulaks supporters of the Tsar, small landholders, or Mongolian nomads?
Supporters of the Tsar.
No, small landholders. In the bitter time before the Civil War, Southern Congressman Bully Brooks physically attacked what abolitionist senator from Massachusetts?
Pass.
Okay, that is the end of the round. That was the final question. We have that one unanswered. It was passed, so Lake Ridge or Brush, you can try it if you like. No, the answer was Charles Sumner, 170 for Madison after their round. And we come back over now to Alan from Lake Ridge to pick.
Number 2.
2 it is. And we come back now to Brush. All set? Zigzag may be a term in sewing, but it's also a term used to describe a slalom and what more strenuous activity?
Skiing.
Many birds frequent the grounds of Mount Vernon, but what bird of peace forms the weather vane atop the house?
Dove.
Right? One of Mackinlay Cantor's novels is called Long Remember. A phrase which you will remember comes from what famous Lincoln speech?
Gettysburg Address.
Listen to the music. This is You're My Jamaica, a geographical metaphor performed by what country and western singer whose past hits include Behind Closed Doors? His surname suggests he is not humble.
Charlie Rich.
Charlie Pride.
Charlie Pride, right. The Communist Manifesto was not exclusively the work of Karl Marx. Parts of it were written by what other German thinker?
Friedrich Engels.
Right. Most gases will dissolve to some extent in water. Which is least soluble of the following gases? Hydrogen chloride, helium, or ammonia?
Helium.
Right. A game of cards diverted a Hessian commander's attention from the warning of General Washington's advance, and it cost him the Battle of Trenton on what river named for a bordering state?
Delaware.
Right. The arithmetic mean of 4 and 6 is 10, but the mean proportional of these two numbers is what?
1.
No, 8. When winners of the Triple Crown are forgotten, such fictional horses as my friend Flicka will live on, including the pony created by John Steinbeck that was what bright
Red.
hue, right? Though not calling it a Declaration of Independence, Britain did endorse an independent state for Jews in 1917 in what declaration named for her foreign minister?
Pass.
All right, pass. So that is the final question. So Lake Ridge or Madison, you have an opportunity to pick up the points here. No takers. It was Belfer, the Belfer Declaration. 240 points now for Brett. Now we come back to Tim Sabo from Madison. Tim?
Number 5.
All right, 5 it is now, and our question's over to Lake Ridge. In this round, like Noah, Wordsworth was happy to see this natural phenomenon and wrote that his heart leaped up, named this colorful vision associated with
Rainbow.
the end of the storm. That's it. Among the Victorian workmen Alice finds in Wonderland are the oyster-loving carpenter and what mad maker of headgear who hosts a tea party?
Mad Hatter.
A Stitch in Time Saves 9 sounds as though it were written by Betsy Ross, but the author is
Benjamin Franklin.
Right. Listen to this music. This is Lady Writer, which was penned and performed by what British rock group that made a big splash in America with the Sultans of Swing?
Dire Straits.
That's it. Biblical scholars use the initials OT to abbreviate the Old Testament, but a Dickens fan would use them to initial what novel exposing dreadful wordplay?
Oliver Twist.
Right. The Tyndall effect can be shown with distilled water, gelatin in water, or sugar in water.
Gelatin and water.
That's it. Will Rogers Day is celebrated on November 4th by loyal Oklahomans, but in what southern state is August 30th set aside to honor the former governor and Senator Huey P. Long?
Pass.
Oh, no, I think I heard an answer, and I heard a pass. What do you want to do, Alan?
We'll go with pass.
Okay. Approximately how many degrees are there in 1 radian? 30, 57, or 360?
360.
No, 57. A garden dedicated to English poets might honor Robert Burns with a red, red rose, while Wordsworth would be linked with what golden spring bulb?
Tulip.
Daffodil. Although English law forbade anyone to take the new textile machines out of the country, what man memorized the plans and... All right, you can let that go. If you think you know it, you can try. It won't be held against you. Just let it go. Okay, one pass question. Brush.
Louisiana.
Louisiana for Huey P. Long. That's it. On to the grab bag. Right after this reminder from Ohio Edison and the Illuminating Company.